help. All right. Take a moment to ground. You went deeper than you know. A meditation you can repeat. Each time can be different, for you are growing, you are changing. And that which you are dreaming and designing of the new world is your unique expression. And so we encourage you to rebalance, to gather what there is to gather, and to make that difference that you are here to make, to assist with your co creation. All right, John, who begins with the questions?
Monica. She's not here. Helen?
Yep, I'm here.
Hey, Helen.
Yes, dear one. Tell us, where do we begin?
So I'm having trouble with my housemate, and I would love some advice. So, well, actually, let me back up. So my mother always blamed my father and I for my brother's problems. And so from the time I was like about 13 to my mid 30s, she would tell me I harmed him. And I believed her. And I remember very clearly in my 20s, like I think part of the reason I never got into a relationship or got married earlier in life is I very clearly remembered in my 20s, I really thought I was harmful to people. And then when I started to do therapy and I realized, no, this is just my mom's stuff and it's not me, and I've been healing it. And but I also was never, like she trained me to not have any needs and to always particularly like be considerate of what Edward needed. And so it's been very hard for me to ever say, I have this need, I want this, I want that. I always have to be the caregiver, the good girl, the helpful Helen. And I think that's part of the whole like my thyroid issue, because I don't um say what I want. So, anyways, we've had this housemate move in with us last September, and 2 weeks after she moved in, she got fired from her job, and she's just had this just one, and then her friends unfriended her, so she's had no friends for 6 months. It's just been one need. She's been a hard to have in the house, but I like her a lot. Like there's a lot very nice about her, but I have really not, I've wanted her to move out for months and months and months, but there's been no place for her to go. And I'm not very honest with her because she's always in some emotional crisis. And so it's very hard for me when she is disruptive for me to say how I really feel. And anyways, she's very good with social media. She helped me shoot the pilot videos for the NFL show in the month of July. And I always said I want them edited and out to the people I want to contact no later than the end of July. Do I need to hire somebody to do this, or can you do it for me? I don't need you to do it, but you need to tell me one way or the other. And I think she wanted to be helpful. So she kept saying, no, 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 I'm really fast. I'm great at editing. You don't need to hire anybody. And I kept asking her because she kept promising the videos and they weren't delivered. And so finally on Friday, I said to her, where are they? And she's like, you've demanded too much of me and I haven't done them. And so I told her exactly what I thought about it, like how upset I was about this. And it was a very clear moment because in that conversation with her, I was very conscious of I am not going to treat her like some fragile flower. I'm going to treat her like the adult she is, and I'm going to tell her exactly how upset I am about this because I didn't need her to edit the videos. I needed her to tell me whether she was willing to do them or not. So whether I needed to hire somebody. Anyways, so I was very clear and honest with her. And She has subsequently, said, I'm leaving. I'm leaving at the end of the month. She refuses to talk to me. It's making it very uncomfortable to be in the house. And then Harry and I we're going away tomorrow for 3 days, for 2 days. And the reason we have a housemate is to take care of the animals when we're traveling. And she knew about our dates for quite a while, for a couple weeks. And she did want to go up to New York tomorrow. And we said, we'll spend the night. You don't have to go up and come back on the same day. We're here on Tuesday. But you don't need to go up so quickly. And no, 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 I'm going to come. I'm just going to go up and come back on the same day. And then she let us know this afternoon she's decided to take off the entire week in New York. And she again gave us no notice. So all of a sudden this afternoon, we have to find somebody to at least at a minimum feed the cats. And they are going to be left alone for the 2 days. And I'm feeling very attacked. So first of all, I've been very clear since Friday. This is a key pivotal moment for me because I'm saying what I want, and I've not been doing that with her. And I'm feeling really, there was this sense of freedom that I had to be honest with her. But now I realize from her reaction why I've been scared to be honest with her all this last year, because she's not safe to be honest with. But so I'm wondering, I've been working with my higher self and my unseen friends to heal this wound within me where I can have needs, I can say what they are, and I can be honest. And I've been working a lot with this since Friday. And I'm really, even though it's caused a lot of conflict since then, I'm really happy I did it. I feel like it was this real power moment for myself. And I'm wondering what else I need to do to heal that within me. And then, like in the meditation, I had so what needed to be healed, I went to kind of like a cave, and um, my higher self set up a screen, and I had to go through the screen, and everything that wasn't me got left behind on the other side of the screen. And it was a lot in the heart area and maybe in the third chakra. And then um, this golden light of love filled throughout my whole body to fill in whatever was left behind. And then I stepped through some kind of a portal to the new world. And I thought I was given a light pink, like a rose quartz pink colored flower, but I think it was on a lollipop stick. It wasn't actually on a plant. It wasn't a, a heart. I think it was a heart lollipop. And so then I brought that back to the present world, and I spread heart pink lollipops around the planet. Um, and I really would like to, we've had most of the housemates have worked out quite well, but we've had conflicts with a couple of them. And the thing I will say about the current housemate is it's not as bad as it's been in the past, so it's less. I'm feeling more support and love from Harry than I've had in the past when we've had issues. And, we have tenants that we rent to that don't live with us, and they all just stepped in. And that's why it ended up being with the cats. It's not a big deal because they're like, I feel very supported by the tenants, and they've been very lovely. Um, I'm kind of sad that the cats are going to be alone, like nobody's going to be sleeping with them, or, we all work from home. So there's somebody around kind of 24/7 for them. So I'm sort of sad about that. But all in all, it's turned into, like there's an easy, seamless solution. And I've already got an interview next week set up for a pet sitter for future trips. And also, like, we're going to England in October, and we need a pet sitter for then. So I'm already like everything's in motion. And on Friday when I found when she was clear she wasn't going to edit the videos, I got on our neighborhood listserv. I posted something, and I think I found a great video editor that's already working with me already. So that's turned into, so like, there's all these wonderful solutions. I know I've got to heal these things within myself. And so I've kind of rambled on a lot. I am a little traumatized by all this.
So wonderful. So, in taking a stand and setting a boundary, a healthy boundary, we might add, you now have the resources you need. You have solutions that make more sense than trying to look to see how can you make sure there's a win-win with her. So now that you've given yourself permission to clear the space, to let in someone else into that's a better match for who you are becoming. So just as so this is your illusion. And even though you're understanding, oh, okay, I have this deep-seated pattern of not saying what I need. And it's not in all areas, but it's often where it matters. In your home space, it matters. Would you agree?
Yes.
But with other outside the house, perhaps there aren't issues. You do say what you need. You're a very direct person. You're willing to say what you think and what you feel, and if somebody's having impact. But around this topic that we had pointed out before, it's a little more complex because you're also wanting to keep Harry happy. And so that a few months ago, that was the issue was, oh, I can't have what I want because Harry will be upset. He wants the housemate to stay. I want the housemate to go. I can't have what I want.
Yeah.
So you can see how you've moved the topic from that area into a different area. You've moved it up to where, oh, okay, now it's really about creating what I want. So as you let in, I do want a different housemate. I also want someone who I can be myself with. I can be direct or honest, and they will respond honestly. So that's what the current topic is. So you did your part to say, this is what I need. Can you or can you not deliver? Now, in the business world, it's a simple matter of exchange of energy. If you do this for me, I will pay you money. If you do this for me, if you say you can do it, great, I'll hand it over. If you say you can't really handle it, I'll go look for someone else. So in the business world, those transactions are usually pretty clean. There's no guarantee that the person isn't going to drop the ball, but a lot of times there's plenty of room for referrals, references, that sort of thing. So you have a high standard of expectation there. But with the housemate, it's a little different because you wanted to give her the benefit of the doubt, and it was easier that way. And she fed back to you exactly what you wanted to hear, didn't she?
Yes.
Oh yeah, it'll be easy, no problem. But what happened when she didn't deliver it right away?
I kept saying, are you sure you can do these or you want to do them? So we started June 7th, and so it was 3 weeks of, are you sure you want to edit them? Just let me know and I'll hire somebody. So every time we'd film another segment and she hadn't edited the first one, She was like, no, I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait until we do more. And it's super easy. And actually on Friday, when I did confront her and she was like, you're demanding too much. And I'm like, well, you just needed to say you couldn't do them. She actually went up and edited 3 of them in an hour and a half. So it actually was easy and fast for her. She just didn't bother to do it. Um, so she just doesn't follow through well. And so I kept and she was never going to actually say I'm not going to do it. She just, even though I kept telling her it's very important for me to get this out. Preseason starts in August. Um, she she just couldn't. Yeah, I don't. It's
So we
yeah,
need to get back to she's the
yeah,
illusion, and why would you
yeah,
write that script? So
yeah,
as you let in, okay, so the future creating the present, the future of you delivering those items is really the future that you're focused on.
yes,
So I'm delivering them on time. I'm looking good, so to speak. I'm doing my part. I'm making good on my word. And now the story is, but I can't because I'm at the effect of someone else.
yeah,
So you're feeling that pressure. You are feeling pressure, self-imposed pressure, but it's in order so that future of delivering what you say you're going to deliver is actually going to happen. And because of your willingness to show up for that, as you say, well, I figured out this part of the editing part is the part that could cause the most trouble because I don't have it in my hands yet.
yes. It's the one thing. It's not in my control. Yeah,
Yes. And so what we would propose is that the more it didn't get delivered according to the way that you thought it should be, the illusion wasn't matching her words.
right. That's
Because
right.
if it was that easy, she would have done it in 5 minutes and handed it to you, or
Well,
maybe
actually, it turned out it
maybe
wasn't
longer.
that easy. It turned out it wasn't that easy for her. She really can do it that fast, but she just, I don't, anyways, but she
All
didn't.
right. So
Yes.
now let's look at what did you make it mean, and what did it feel like inside of you when she kept delaying? Because that's where the resistance is. What did you tell yourself about yourself, and what did you tell yourself about her? So you don't have to share it, but as you look to
Yeah.
see, okay, at the beginning of June, you were optimistic, you were open, you were generous, she was generous, everything was good. By the end of July, are we getting our dates correct?
So we started videoing July 7th. So it's just a 3 week, all this happened over
Okay,
three
so it was the
weeks.
beginning of July and not June.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
beginning of
Yeah.
July,
Yeah.
and you said your deadline was the end of July.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when did she actually deliver something?
She only delivered it after the confrontation on Friday. So July 31st. But she
Yes.
said to me in that confrontation, she said, I'm not going to do it. It's too much. Uh, yeah. So she
Yes,
didn't
and
let me.
by then it was you were completely at her mercy.
Right.
So we would suggest that you knew you were completely at her mercy a lot sooner than that last day.
Yes. Yes.
When did you decide it? Because as soon as that happened, that was a trigger.
I
Does
probably
that
the
make
week
sense?
before. I probably the week before I kind of was like, I kind of felt this was not gonna go well.
Yes. So
Yeah.
so really that focus of attention, as you can let in, oh, wait a minute. I shifted from the elegance and ease that could have been into what triggers me is a lack of control, because you can't control her. You can't make
Mm.
her sit down and edit.
Right.
She's not your employee.
Right.
And even if she were your employee, you still can't force her to do anything she's not willing to do. And if
Right.
she has a different cadence or a different sense of priorities and you were not it, part of that is the problem. One more time, I don't matter, or I'm not the primary focus for that person. And all it took was you saying what you needed and wanting to take it out of her hands for her to get you exactly where you knew it was going to hurt, which is to say, I'm not going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, all of that is a script,
Mm-hmm.
and you get to feel certain feelings.
Mm-hmm.
So when you stop making it about her and look at, what did I get to feel? What is this triggering pattern, and what's in the pattern that is so frustrating? And once I took a stand and I took my power back from it, and that was in taking the task out of her hands,
Mm-hmm.
that was the way you had to do it. Now, it didn't have to go that way, but it went that way. And
Right.
frankly, you have come up with more solutions as a result of taking her out of the mix entirely.
Right.
Because you did have a desire for her to leave. So, as long as your primary desire was for her to leave and for you to be free of that obligation, you accomplished your goal. Did you do it nicely? No. Could you have done it nicely? No, you've tried for a year. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So, as you
Yeah.
really just sit with, well, I didn't do it without a bit of martyrhood, but by getting angry about it and setting a boundary and really calling her on her lack of showing up, I've now freed myself up. She said she's going to leave.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
all these solutions have flooded in.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And now I have a better reality. Does that
Yeah.
make
Yeah.
sense?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you don't
Yeah.
like the way you created it because you see, at the end of the day, you wanted to maintain, I'm a nice person.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you are. You were more than generous. But you also occurred as, well, if Helen doesn't really care, I'm just going to do what I want.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because if you're not, and you did get to where you were direct, but in a way it wasn't keeping your primary focus on delivering the goods in August, you might say.
Yeah.
By giving her any wiggle room, giving
Yeah.
by putting yourself at her mercy, you see.
Right. Right.
And part of you knew that you were doing that, or you wouldn't have kept checking in. Are you sure you can do this? Are you sure you can do this? The message is, I don't think you can.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So you're saying, you're thinking you're just verifying. Are you sure you can do this? But she's hearing, Helen doesn't think I can do this.
I think she can do it. I don't trust that she would do it. And so,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. So it gave her the permission. Oh, well, if she doesn't think I can do it, or she doesn't know if I can do it, well, I get to say when I'm going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a subtle power play, but you gave away your power. As you took it back, you didn't like that you had to be so strong, but we would suggest you are strong no matter what. When you are asking for what you want, you are being direct. When you are clear on what the tasks are and what needs to happen, you are very direct. For somebody who doesn't operate in that way, that would create a discomfort. Not your problem. However, when you hand it all over to the person who's not comfortable working the way you do, it becomes a problem. Meaning you intuitively suddenly feel out of control. I just handed over my project to somebody who doesn't care as much about it as I do. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Is there like she gave me a more than one opportunity to tell her directly whether I wanted her to stay or not. And I never blatantly, like, because she got fired, her friends stopped being friends with her. Like, she just was always like, oh my God, my life is a shambles, that nothing's working out for me. I never felt like I didn't want to add pain onto her plate and rejection onto her plate. And I also don't trust her to be an emotional adult, which is why I didn't want her in the house. So I also didn't trust her kind of reaction. And I always, those couple of opportunities that came up, I never was completely honest with her. And and sometimes I was really, really not honest. And I didn't know whether it was the right thing to do because it would be cruel to be honest with her, given everything that had fallen apart for her, or whether I I was, by not being honest, I was not being a good reflecting mirror to her. And I really struggled during those conversations about what to say. And now I just think maybe I should have just been direct. I did tell her I don't like her drama and the soap opera, and sometimes she's, sucking all the energy out of the house. And I was blunt about that and just saying, you've got to stop being so uh, demanding of our time and attention. And she actually, like, when I said that clearly, she actually did like take that, like she did behave differently a little bit.
So it still comes back to you, doesn't it?
Hmm.
How much am I willing to stand by me, to advocate for my needs, to be strong in the face of this is what I need. So you started out by saying, well, it was always my fault. It wasn't just your fault. Your father was also at fault. But you got the message. There's something wrong with me, or things would be going well for your brother.
Right.
So if you were to apply that template to this situation, what do you see? What would be clear?
Yeah, it's the same thing. And I mean, like, particularly since Friday when all of this kind of the confrontation happened, I've had my higher self take away my younger me like 20 times and heal the shame. Because that's what like, it's just throughout the day now. It's just there, like Saturday, all that was running through my head is have I harmed her? I don't think I harmed her. I just told her the truth. But did I damage her? Did I cause her any? I mean, like, I was just kind of like, I had my 10 times on Saturday, I had my higher self take my younger child away and heal the shame. So I see it. I mean, it's like in my face. The pattern has absolutely been in my face. And I'm trying to do my best to heal that shame. Um, it's so clear to me. And maybe it's so clear. It's the serious days. And I'm just hoping this is um, my trying to heal it and get it over with. And I am very clear, like, there's a part of me that was like, thank God, because she wasn't leaving. And so I do see, like, I guess I didn't consciously see that that's what I was working towards. But now that you're like kind of you're making it clear, I'm like, yeah, that's what I was doing. That is what I was doing. I needed her out of here. She was going to be here forever. Um,
And that's an important recognition, because now when she comes back into your space, you can say, you know, you mentioned you're leaving, and actually that's what I want.
yeah,
I want the
yeah,
best for you, but I don't need to be the source for it.
right, right.
So, and so we just want to reframe a few things. So one of the most difficult human qualities is to know when to be compassionate, when to be gracious, when to help, and when to be sure you need to take care of you first. So the clear answer is you always must put yourself first. That's the highest priority as a spiritual adult, is you're responsible for you. You're always responsible for gathering energy from source. Nobody can do it for you, which you know. So we're not telling you something you don't know. However, the mechanism of getting tapped into an environment and giving in order to get is so invisible that you have to catch yourself when that's what you're doing. If you aren't, and you, what you said so beautifully, 20 times I had to go and take care of my child, make sure she had what she needed, and lift the shame. It is important to free yourself up, because the shame does let you think there's something wrong with me. I'm doing it wrong. I'm not good enough. It's my fault. That is shame, isn't it? You
Mm-hmm,
recognize it. Now,
mm-hmm,
the source of the shame was never right here and now. The source of the shame is earlier in life, as you discovered, okay, it's in my child. I gotta help her be safe. Now, as you begin to let in, okay, I've done what I need to do. My higher self is powerful enough to have that stick, to know that the shame has been lifted, is now up to me to choose. Am I going to let it be real enough? I need to spend some time with me, not with other people. I need to see, do I feel good enough? Am I filling myself up with goodness, truth, and beauty? My qualities of connection. Am I feeling connected? Or am I feeling like I have to diminish myself and walk on eggshells? So if you're walking on eggshells, and we don't say that you are, but if you were, or if you turn into that mode, which is a triggered mode, that's the lesser self strategy, isn't it?
mm-hmm.
I need to diminish myself. I got to do what they want. I got to be what they want. And they being the roommate, the housemate in this case.
Yeah,
In the past, it was you had to be what your mother wanted you to be.
right.
And how did you know if you were doing it right? Well, your brother didn't get in trouble.
Mm-hmm,
That was your only measure. That was your primary measure, not your only one. But the primary measure of whether you were okay and safe was if your brother wasn't getting in trouble. Think about that. So if your only measure of whether you're okay is whether your housemate's okay, no wonder you're exhausted. So she's playing out that role, reminding you, hey, Helen, do you know that you only think you're okay when everybody else in the room is okay?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And you know the source of it even. So now it becomes, okay, thank you, housemate, for playing the role. I think I'm okay with you going now.
Mm-hmm,
I think I can hold on to a higher truth that I'm okay. Now, and this is challenging. because it's a vulnerable time when you first end a pattern. The lesser self will pop up and say, are you sure? Are you sure you don't want to keep this in place? But it can't go with you into the next expansion.
Right.
It's only coming up because you're done with it,
Mm-hmm.
because you are enough and you do love good enough. And you do have a very special love with Harry that is worth showing up for in yourself. I'm going to show up for me, because the more I show up for me, the more I can show up for Harry. And we can create more loving experiences that then also extend to the rest of the household. So don't go into, I got to fix this right now. She's going to come back and she's going to want to stay because you've changed, because you're going to feel good. You're going to be emanating grace. You're going to be emanating forgiveness. And she's going to think, oh, good, I can stay because I feel safe now. What are you going to do?
Mm-hmm.
So this is the choice you have to make in advance. Which future do I want? Is she really the problem? And we would suggest she has been bringing up stuff for you for a while. And we would also suggest that what you've learned is, actually, when I value myself, I don't need her in the household.
Right. That's right.
That's your preference.
Right. That's
And
correct.
as you get clear on that within yourself, then you can open that up, because more solutions are coming by letting her go. By letting the pattern go, new stuff is coming in. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And for me, I've said to Harry, I don't want another housemate. I want a pet sitter. I don't want someone living in the house. I mean, maybe I can handle one if I'm the new me. I do like the freedom that having a housemate is. Like when it works, you leave the pets, you go out on trips whenever you want, and we want, and I feel really comfortable that the animals are happy and content. You know, they're never going to be as happy as if we're around all the time. But so I do like the freedom that I feel like a housemate gives us, but when it works well. But I just think a pet sitter is probably a better way to go and just let us have more serenity in the house.
At least
You
give it a
know?
try for a little while and see how it goes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I'm also trying to not panic. I'm trying to like allow myself the time it's going to take to do these videos right. Like this guy that and just make it metaphysical. So even though preseason is starting for the NFL, um, and all the TV shows are set and locked in, there's no reason why there can't be some adjustments made. Maybe there can, maybe it won't be for another year, but I don't know. I'm just not going to worry about it. And so if it takes me another week now to work with this, I found this new editor, and he's going to make a like 2 to 3 minute sizzle reel of the videos, that I can then send out to the NFL. And so I'm gonna allow myself to not panic and just like take this week and try and help work with him and get this sizzle reel done. And then I'll reach out to the people in the NFL next week. He knows people in the NFL, he said. He's done work for the NFL entities. And so he will send out my sizzle reel to his contacts, and I'll send out the sizzle reel to my contacts. And so I'm actually I'm excited that I found this guy. I think I feel really good about him.
Beautiful.
So
So now, as you let in, I have created something more
yes,
by letting go of the control,
yeah,
not by giving in to what you felt was controlling you, meaning, well, I just have to wait until she gets to it. No, that was not creating more of what you wanted. That was going to be painful
Mm-hmm.
as you waited and waited and waited and were at the effect of your emotions and your pattern.
Mm-hmm.
Now you've ended the pattern, and now someone's coming in who has resources, additional resources.
Mm-hmm.
So as you're letting in, oh, I have expanded. I have created more of what I want.
Mm-hmm.
And as you let in, what we wanted to say is, as you let in each soul interaction that you have. So you have someone come into your reality who's playing a script out for you. That is not who they are. They are not the script. That's your experience of them. That's the illusion of them. But the more real of them is a soul having a physical experience.
Mm-hmm.
And when you really let that in, that she is a soul having a physical experience, you don't have to worry that she can't create reality. Of course
Mm-hmm.
she can. She's a soul having a physical experience. Now, at the moment, you're responsible for the illusion that you're experiencing of her. As you let her go, as you release her from the need to play out that script, she can go on and thrive, you see.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have to forgive yourself for holding the script. Oh, she was playing the role I gave her.
Mm-hmm.
I need to let her be on her way and be free to create something new.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So a little
Yeah.
bit of forgiveness will finish that up for you. All right.
All
We
right.
love you so. And John
Thank
is next. Yes, dear one.
Monica. Monica?
Hi. Hi, Tara, beautiful Tara. Thank you for being here with us. How exciting.
Yes, dear one. Tell us, where do we begin?
Oh, your comment is I want to congratulate Helen, and I hope she does get it, and I hope she does a donation to the channel. Anyway, beautiful Tara, I want to ask you, beautiful Tara. I had quite a bit of surprises in my life, and it always want to think positive. Always not to have too much dialogue in my mind. Let the world rotate. The thing that I hope for the planet is that we could possibly be in a predicament of water. Like, I know we discussed it before. Planet helps itself, and it's just that the beginning of time, the weather was very, very nice, and it wasn't super, super hot. But I hope that one thing that I want to ask is, I'm hoping that the endangered species here in America, they don't get hurt, or the American eagle, because someone signed the head of the sign to stop. Hopefully, it could change, or maybe it didn't go through, or I think it went through. That's when I checked. Hoping it does not go through, but it's kind of scary to hurt an endangered species. So just to send love. How much more love can we send? Please advise.
All right. So clearly, if the focus stays on something you don't want, then it's important to look to see, okay, I'm clear on what I don't want. Now, what would it be to experience the reality that I do want? Now, and we would caution that you don't pick the opposite, because your subconscious knows that in a world of duality, both exist. It depends on what your focus of attention is on. However, and so then to be more creative and say, okay, What's important to me about this endangered species? What are the qualities that are represented when I encounter this being, this consciousness, this beautiful representation of what's possible in the world, a gift from God Goddess? And as you fill that in with what matters to you, well, if it represents freedom, or it represents power or magic or beauty or goodness, whatever it is, your words, not our words. But as you fill yourself up with those resonances and commune with the diva of that species, and we say diva because it's a multitude of souls that gather, and as you allow the consciousness of that particular species to speak with you through your higher self, what's important about their expression at this time? So some species are endangered, labeled endangered, because their populations have dramatically reduced, and there is a critical point. There is a critical point where they cannot recover and restore their numbers very easily without some protection, without nurturing, without special conditions, that sort of thing. However, that is still part of your illusion, the physical plane illusion. In the more real, there is not that issue. And so you want to journey to see, oh, so what's different in the more real? So sometimes we recommend going into fairy and seeing what's so in fairy. Do they have the same issues? Or have they overcome these limitations? Do they have different beliefs that allow them to have a different reality? What about my beliefs has me feel fear and impotency around endangered species? Is it actually true, what the fear is telling me? Is there action to be taken? We're not saying that it's not necessarily true. If your illusion says there's endangerment, then the fear that you feel shouldn't be left in fear, but should be translated into new actions, new thought, new feeling, new action, inspired action. And as you let yourself know that your presence, your attention, and your intention matter, that you, through your love and your radiating that love into that issue and being inspired to act, if that's there for you, is a form of healing yourself first, and then it's reflected in the illusion. Does that help?
Yes, that is very, very, very beautiful, and I hope with the goddess that prayer been sent to the commander. Is he here? Because he was crying to be the head of this country, and now he is, and danger includes the bald eagle. That he does not do that, and also concerning with the musk guy and other ones that this is wacko technology and wishing that goes back to the 80s. And I just hope that that man just like, he's not God. And I hope the God source picks it up. He's playing God.
So as you take it back into yourself, okay, this is my illusion. These are the players. These are the scripts that I give them. What do I learn about myself by having them mirror those things for me? As you really let in, oh, I really need to recall my power that I give away to the illusion. I need to recall that back into me and redefine what matters. Because the way that you're letting them be more powerful than you tells us that you think they are more real than you. When you allow the illusion to be the illusion, and you really let in, okay, I get to feel these feelings because of the thoughts that I have about those people. I get to feel those feelings. What's important about feeling those feelings? We're not saying don't feel them. We're saying you're giving yourself a gift to be able to feel those feelings, and out of that to have new thought, to get new ideas, to create new realities. Some of you are motivated only when things are really, really good. Others of you tend to be more motivated when things are really bad. So as you let yourself know what motivates me, when I see a beautiful world, am I motivated, or am I just receiving the beauty? And well, doesn't really have anything to do with me. There's not really anything I can do to change. There's nothing to change. It's all beautiful. So you see, if you're only motivated when things go really, really badly, and this is something you need to own about yourself, if that's true for you, then you have to create things that motivate you. Because you are here to grow, you are here to change, you are here to expand. And if the only way you know that you have some say about things is when something bad happens, you want to kind of reel that back into you and say, wait a minute. The only time I'm actually paying attention to what's going on outside of me is if there's some bad news. So you've created many, many sources of bad news, and you need to balance that out. You need to say, wait a minute, what if for every problem that I get news about, I also get another piece of news that has a solution? Can I do that? Can I be that specific? Yes, you can. If you think of it, if you imagine it, if you dream it. So as you don't make yourself bad and wrong for the way whatever you motivates you, but if you understand, oh, I don't really change. I don't feel motivated to change until I see pain or sorrow or suffering. Maybe I want to look at the way that I'm designed. Maybe I don't need that pain anymore. Maybe I can focus on growing and changing and being motivated more by love, more by caring, more by beauty. And that would require letting the illusion be an illusion. It would require a leap from believing that is more real into questioning what is more real about who I am. Who am I really? Am I just this physical reaction machine, or am I a creator? And as you sit with, we know as we're talking to you, Monica, that you are a creator. Because there are times that you have spoken with us about what you are creating. And as you let that exuberance rise up in you and you let your love flow for what you want to see more of in the world, when you're in touch with that, then the illusion changes. The information changes. You start to get the good news. You start to get the shifts and changes. The light chaos comes forward and the dark chaos recedes. So we want to leave you with that thought that, oh, I bought into that illusion, that bad news. Doesn't mean it's not happening. It is in the illusion. It is manifest. We're not saying it's not there. We're just saying that's only one possible illusion. And when your attention gets caught in it and you think it's more real, it can become problematic because then you're just generating more of that. But if you say, that's not what I want, and then you return back to source and you say, let's create something different, let's create something new, and you change your need for that bad news, and you create a new desire for good news or for more positive experience, your illusion changes with you. It has to. Does that help?
Yes, I understand very well. That is very beautiful. And thank you for your marvelous, beautiful time, and wishing the earth goes back in time. Beautiful. Thank you, Tara. Thank you.
All right. We love you so.
Thank you
All
so
right.
much.
And John, who
Happy
is
to-
next?
John,
Jean-Francois?
yeah, Jean-Francois. Yeah.
Hey, Tara.
All right. Where do we begin?
Oh, let's I feel like there are different components to what I have to talk about. And I don't know, I'm not sure if I should go into describing all of those or go to the core. But I do feel like going to the core, to be honest. So I'm going to start there. I have been experiencing intense loneliness, like painful loneliness. And I know that I'm loved and I have good people in my life, but one of the ways that I feel it's reliably manifesting has to do with what I'm seeing as my ability to connect, be a part of, and belong in community. And what happens is I feel like I will connect with a community, and whatever light that I bring becomes something that's relied upon or expected, or and which is beautiful. I'm not complaining about that. I think that's great. But there's a point where I'm not only this light, I'm also me, and I'm also I need time to have lunch and take a break, or just have only thoughts, or I'm not feeling connected right now. And that feeling can be there for sometimes weeks for me. And I notice what I do is I tend to sabotage myself by saying whatever it is that I have to say. And it's not malicious. I'm not trying to break anything, but I'm being open, and I'm enjoying connecting, honestly, and communicating, and hearing, what do you think about what I said? And oh, how that's really interesting, and I want to connect with you, and how do you see life, and those kinds of things. So I have been coming in touch with what has felt like, this is the way I'm perceiving it. I'm just going to go for it because it sounds like I've been listening to a lot of metaphysical stories to me over the past decades, and I'm going to say it the way that I'm hearing it inside of myself, which is the comment that we're rounding the bend. It's been a story in my life since I was 23, and I love it. I love that we're rounding the bend. I thank God for coming home. It's wonderful to come home, and it's wonderful that that's my promise, and it's very simple. It's just one promise, and it's easy to focus on and make happen, make real, and I feel like that is happening for me. Before that, I have this impression now that my solution, while I was still individuating, while I was still going home, while I was still before the rounding the bend part, the whole journey to the part to rounding the bend, is I think I've found some solutions that are actually painful to me now as someone coming home. And I think one of the solutions was, if this community doesn't work for you, move on. Just keep moving. Just keep moving. And at this point in my life, I feel like that solution is something that I still apply. And I don't think it's healthy for me. In that, I also experience, and I know it's because of my empathy and my intuition, I experience judgments about who I am in the community, how I'm behaving, what I have to say, if it's acceptable, if it's not acceptable, is my behavior acceptable. Every community seems to have unwritten rules on how I'm meant to behave, who I'm supposed to be, and I'm not. I am. It's not even superficially. I am at a certain level interested in those, and I want to comply because I'm interested in the connection and what the community, you know, expects of me, and I want to provide that. And at the same time, I can also completely not care. And I think what happens is I think I generate a feeling of abandonment or that this isn't valuable to me in that behavior while I'm just creating space for myself because I need time for myself. And I don't know, Lazara said a while ago, it wasn't directly to me, or maybe it was, I don't remember anymore, that I do need time for myself, that I spend 2 to 3 hours a day just with me, and I love it. I love my time for myself. It's important. I dream, I heal, I resolve things, I ground things, I consolidate stuff, and I really bring stuff back to like, well, as a spiritual being, what would this be to me, and what do I want to do about it? And I do that, and I'm happy about that. Um, I think I've said all the components. I may have forgotten some, but is this a place that could you comment on? Because I would like to be more successful in my participation in community. How is that?
All right. Wonderful. Beautiful. Yes. So
Thank you.
as you think about your lesser self and the strategies of the lesser self,
Yeah.
how is it that a fear of losing community becomes the very behavior that then has you lose it?
Okay.
So the lesser self is about fear.
Yes.
You the more doesn't have that fear. So when you engage in community and all of these interactions with other souls is a dance, isn't it?
Yeah, that's great. Yes.
And in the dance, there's looking for what's similar and what you agree on, and disclosing what you don't agree on. The more vulnerable and intimate you are, the more vulnerable and intimate you are. Meaning, when you disagree, there is a threat to this similarity.
Right. Okay.
And when you agree too much, which is also a possibility, then there isn't enough vulnerability. And it becomes, for lack of a better word, boring. So we're not saying you're bored, but we would suggest in your case, most likely there's this projection of fearing the loss of the community. And out of that comes the strategy. Well, it doesn't matter to me anyway. I'll just move on, was the one you said, right?
Right. Right. Right.
But in truth, there is only you and the reality you are creating. So this is where the loneliness can come in. So the lesser self says, well, you really are all alone. It really is all up to you. You really are the only one who's real, and everybody else is an illusion. A simplification of what is actually quite complex. The more complex reality that you the more appreciates is that you yourself have the most power to change things. And yet, in a sense, you feel the least conscious. You are the consciousness, but you feel less conscious than your unconscious and your subconscious who are running the show. And the more real you the more is connected to higher self, is embodying soul, is activating spirit, is connected to God, Goddess, and has experiences in the more real with souls who are also participating in your reality. So community, and this is sort of what we recommended for Helen to try on, is what if I let everybody who I'm interacting with, who means something to me, to be more real? What if I let them be a soul having a physical experience? What are the qualities of soul? Goodness, truth, and beauty, love and light, and everything in between. It's not the soul that has attitude or fear or loneliness or pain. Does that make sense?
I'm still listening. I'm not sure if I'm there yet.
All right. So in your mind, see a group of people
Yeah.
who you interacted with recently.
Okay.
And now measure in your body, how did you know you were disconnecting? What were some of the thoughts? What were some of the sensations? What were some of the feelings that you had you think, I better get alone, or these people don't really mean anything to me, or I just can't see a future where I'm going to be a part of this, or
Okay.
whatever's really there.
Right. Okay. Okay. So in recently, I was surprised by it. I actually felt at home. I mean, for about a year, just really felt completely comfortable, free to be exactly who I am. And I was that. And it more came, sort of from behind, like a wake-up call, like, oh, no, that's not what we're like. That's not what we're registering at all. Or not as in it was a group effort. There were small little kind of signs or interactions that were like, hey, by the way, you need to wake up to this is what's going on here for real, and this is what's going on for real. It's not what you thought this was. And it was like well, how do they in a romance, what is it called? The part where you're in love and then the bubble breaks. The honeymoon period. God, the honeymoon period was clearly over. And I don't even think that's true. I think I'm the one who's experienced it that way. I still feel a lot of love and support from this community when I go. And so I can't really say that's true, except for somehow since that moment of the honeymoon being over, I'm different and I tone it down and I kind of more cautious and I hold back and I'm like, oh, if I say or do this, I'm going to be perceived as whatever, bad.
Yes. So you're now careful.
Yes, I am careful.
So how familiar is that strategy from a lesser self standpoint of keeping you safe?
Right. That's the way you do it. You've
Yes.
overstepped. Yeah, exactly. Yes.
So then the question becomes, as the reality creator, why is that popping up right now?
Yes, why is that popping up right now?
And we
Yes.
would suggest you're about
Okay.
to expand and
Yeah.
you're about to become even more of who you truly are. And you can't take that pattern with you.
The
You
less
cannot take the premise
right.
that I need to be careful because I'm not really safe into a more abundant, relaxed reality where you can create more. Does that make sense? So we know we're speaking in very linear terms, but as you see it, as you're about to go through the doorway of being more of who you truly are, that means you're going to show more of your love, more of your light, be more vulnerable, be more intimate. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And yes, you have this group, but it applies to everyone. It's not just this group. They're just helping you bring it to the surface. They're the actors that you gave the script to. Hey, when I'm about to go through the door to be more, play out this script so I know what it is I have to release. So here you are at the door, about to go through, and you have this big backpack on called, I'm afraid they're going to reject me. I have to be careful.
Right.
And you try to go through the door and it stops you.
I see it.
You can't go through. You got to take it off.
Yeah.
You got to take it off and set it down and walk through without it. What do you replace it with? Don't ask the lesser self.
No, yeah, no, I mean, I have a relationship with my future self and dominion. I mean, it's an energy that feeds me.
Yes. You need more of that.
Yeah, I do need more of that.
And as
yeah,
you walk through the door, guess what's there waiting for you?
the same.
More of that dominion.
More of that, yeah. Ah,
You just breathe it in and oh my gosh, I feel more safe to be who I am. I feel less judged. See, part of the being careful is somebody said something and your lesser self said they're judging you, or
right.
you're judging yourself, or you never will be good enough. Not really. Or you don't really fit in because they need you to agree to something that isn't you. So as you start to look at, oh, what was it that triggered me needing to be more careful? Because that is what needs healing. That reveals in the complex way, reveals a single belief that you as a child or an adolescent picked up as, oh, this is who I am. And of course, it wasn't who you really are. It was a modified you that could be more careful. And it's the message to the subconscious, hey, if I get too out there, shut me down.
Yeah.
Because the rejection would be too painful. So if I'm careful, I can avoid rejection. But from a reality creating standpoint, what must you be focused on in the future to enact this script? A fear of being rejected. So that future isn't where you're heading, is it?
No.
But it's what your lesser self is telling you is coming.
Right.
What's the antidote? Well, listening more to the lesser self doesn't handle it. It just creates more fear. So you have to, as you say, well, what I do is I get alone and I sit with my higher self and I figure things out. And we would suggest
Okay.
being in the love of higher self and really letting yourself know that you are safe and letting the young boy or the young adolescent who had that situation, probably the adolescent more strongly,
Yeah,
come forward and sit with you and your higher self
that's nice.
and let him talk
Yeah.
and let him reveal to you what he decided was going to keep him safe from rejection, from humiliation, from harm, whatever it was. And then have your higher self bring him a new solution. You know what? That happened, but you don't have to stay there. We have a new reality for you. And if you don't even want that to happen, we can take you before it happens. Whichever is necessary. For some of you who had trauma, you want to take them before the trauma even happened, where they have an awareness, this could happen. And if it did, I would have decided this. But you can rewrite that for that youth. He doesn't have to live it again. And you can say, okay, here's the you that doesn't have that. You have an awareness of it, but I need to be free of it. So we're going to have you change the script. And I'm going to benefit. Doesn't make it doesn't necessarily erase it for me. It depends on how complete I am with it. Some things that run through all your lifetimes take a little bit more work.
Sure.
And there are levels of shame, like Helen was saying, there was more shame there. I know I've worked with this stuff, but there was more shame. that needed to be healed. And we would suggest, because there are many lifetimes that are impacted by that sort of situation or decision. More to the decision, not the situation. The situation can change. You can still make the same decision that you're not enough, or that you'll never be good enough, or you'll never fit in, or you'll always be alone. Whatever it was, let him tell you what it was.
Right.
And then have your higher self give him a new reality. And let him know, doesn't matter what he decided, it's not who he is. See, some of the healing that you're doing is, yeah, the decisions kept you safe, and the shame told you you were the decision. You were one and the same.
Right.
So feeling lonely became, I really am all alone and I will never feel connected. That's shame.
That's, yes. God, that is. Yeah, that's it. That's exactly the sentence too.
Yeah. So work with that. Let
Yeah.
your higher self do all the heavy lifting,
Right.
because your higher self is that powerful.
Right.
And part of what needs to be restored and healed is that connection to higher self, and the opening to the wonder and the joy and the clarity that, oh my gosh, my higher self has always got me, is always watching out for me. And as that belief becomes stronger in you, that belief will lead you to the next step through that doorway.
Right.
And we're not saying you haven't experienced what's on the other side of that doorway. You are. It's because you have moved beyond it that this is popping up. Guess what? You can't take this with you into who you're becoming.
Right.
And then to really know who you become, that's the work with the optimal future self, where you just take a moment tonight, even as you drift off to sleep. I'm going to let my optimal future self show me what it feels like to be free. He's already free.
Yeah, I like that. Thank you.
All right. We love you so.
Thank you so much.
You're right
Karen.
on track, as
I
always.
appreciate that. Thank you. I appreciate that. That really helps, and I feel optimistic.
Wonderful. All right. And so,
Thank you.
John, we believe there's one more.
Yes, this is Henry.
Okay, Henry.
Hello, Tara. Thank you
Yes,
for being
you.
here, talking with me. Funny old week. What's been big recently is this forbidden zone thing that I mentioned last week. But I'm just thinking, I'm just going to take. The idea was that there were these Trekkies in the forbidden zone. Life was so boring that they were just playing with stuff and risking stuff in order to make things interesting. And I just thinking, these things I've got to get done and all that sort of thing. Well, perhaps I'll just not pay the rent and everything fall apart, or it won't fall apart, and it'll be, and I'm hitting those things, but I'm so much coming up with this. Maybe let's just forget that and all that sort of thing. Even with when I was looking at the play that we talked about last week, and having the adult support me in having what I want, so I didn't have to try and manipulate and get the role that I wanted. There again, it was if an adult is involved, I mean, I'm seeing it from both sides, but there's still this feeling. Well, is it going to be my stuff? I mean, it's going to be taken over, and it's not. Is it going to be what I really want? And
that comes down to that comes down to being vulnerable enough with yourself to choose what you want. So before you can choose, you have to create a sort of a range of possibility, don't you? You have to become aware of there's a range of possibility available to me.
Yeah.
Then the desire is what has you choose one over the other. The desire leads you
Yeah.
to create the range of possibility, and the
Right.
imagination activated begins to play out in your mind. Well, what if I created this? What if I created that? And then out of that, the desire grows some more, and you become more fine-tuned on, well, out of all of these possibilities, well, there's 2 or 3 that would be really wonderful to create. And then as you begin to choose, well, I don't know which one to choose, but let's just see what I created so far out of this. Now, all of this happens in a split second.
Mm.
It's not really, it can be a conscious process, but more often than not, you're just going about your day and you're receiving. What am I receiving today? What did I create while I dreamed last night? And you're just receiving input. And it takes pausing and reflecting and even disengaging and detaching in order to be more conscious of what you choose. Does that make sense? So, for instance, you go get your bread. They don't have the one you wanted, but I thought I was going to get the one I got yesterday. Why did you think you were going to get the one yesterday? Because you believe that the past creates the present.
Yeah.
But when you let in, there's actually a range of possibilities. And even though I expect to get what I want, I don't necessarily know if I want it though. I just know what I expect. And expectation leads you to know what your beliefs are. So I believe the same kind of bread or something similar will be there when I get there, or maybe they'll run out. That's also a possibility. When you get there, how often do you get something different than you know you should get? Let's say 75% of the time you get this exactly what you think you're going to get, or is it 99%?
Well, I mean, I did it today. It's much more kind of obvious than that, in a way, in that, you know, there's a cafe I go to that they close at 3 o'clock, and if I'm there and I get my tea, and they have leftover pastries, they give me free, right? And so if I go to that just thinking I don't deserve it for whatever reason, there's something I want to talk about that, or I'm not on point with my higher self or whatever, it'll often be they don't have them or whatever. But I mean, today I was thinking, I don't really want pastries. Do I want pastries? I don't know. I think I do. I don't know. But and the time's coming up, and I should be doing something else, and all that sort of thing. And okay, I'll go anyway. And then remembering that I can have whatever I want if I just let go of this deserving thing. And so on the way, I was just going to my higher self. Yes, okay. What do I actually want? I want 3 pastries. I want these 3 pastries, and I want them to be there. And I got there, and there were the 3 pastries, and I got the 3 pastries. So I mean, it is so. I'm so conscious about what's happening. It's the same when I'm in the pool. That I'm in the pool and I'm thinking, I'm not seeing hummingbirds. I'm not seeing the dragonfly. I want to see a hummingbird and a dragonfly. And then if I can't get into that place of feeling I deserve it. It doesn't happen, and then if I can just get into I know my higher self's there, wanting me to have it, but so yesterday I was there, and there was the dragonfly and the hummingbirds and other things and all those things, and I hadn't particularly deserved it, but I decided it was all right if I hadn't deserved it. So there's all that going on. So I say it's so I can just see how it's working, and having this resistance to allowing it to be too easy, it's when I'm looking at I look at my the optimal future self, and there's this going on, and I feel this energy and all this wonderful thing, and I'm using AI to create images of me with teeth and with a partner and being happy and all those sort of things. And when I create them, I can get into that feeling and just feel, oh, I can feel what this feels like. But then I somehow I shouldn't be doing this. This isn't right, or it's kind of too easy. Therefore, it's not going to be actually what I really want, or something like that. And
so what we want you to be aware of is
Yeah.
as you reach for what you want, what pops up is not a resonant match. So those thoughts,
yeah,
it's going to be too easy, or it's not going to be enough, or I'm not a good fit for that. All of that is the stuff that is in the way, that has to be set down, that is in the backpack that you can't take through the doorway, you see. Not a resonant match. So
Yeah.
just as you know, when I really know that I create my own reality and I'm with my higher self and we're discussing, what do I want? And then it takes a while to get clear on what I want, but I eventually get there. And then more often than not, I say what I want and I get there and it's there exactly as I stated. Now, on the times when it isn't, and this is the more important note, really, when you don't create what you want, whatever's popping up in that created you not getting what you wanted is what there is to set down the next time. So,
Yeah.
feeling I'm not good enough, I did it wrong, I don't deserve, those things that are so common in part of the lesser self strategy to keep you safe. How do you keep yourself safe from being disappointed? Whatever's there. Well, I talk myself out of it. I decide I don't deserve it. I decide, well, better luck next time, or I'm just not good enough, or whatever it is.
Right.
So
in
they're
fact,
always familiar, and everybody's got similar things that has to be set down when you expand into the new. So for you, the beautiful imagery of you with a partner looking radiant, that is your optimal future self, isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah. And there's an energy, there's a vibration, there's a resonance that literally imbues you in the here and now when you really allow it, and you do allow it, and that changes your willingness to create something new for yourself. Now, does it happen right away? Are you suddenly in the new reality? Not yet, but there will come a time that it will be that way. It'll be that easy. But for now, you're still recognizing that, well, my lesser self still is complaining about how things are, and the complaining is to keep you safe.
Yeah.
What if it's boring? Would be a complaint we would suggest. And it's also a strategy. Thinking the thought, what if it's boring? What if I don't like it, or her, or him, or the situation? Avoiding a future is a strategy to keep you safe. I'll just avoid it. I just won't imagine it. I won't desire it. I'll just diminish myself. I'll refuse to use my tools of creation. That was the strategy of the child after he got shamed for playing. That was the strategy of the adolescent when he was shamed for wanting something different. Now, you've done enough work. The spiritual adult isn't the one that needs the help, but the lesser self needs to know that the spiritual adult is choosing to connect to something more. Otherwise, there's no safety, you see.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're all alone, and all alone is not safe. The lesser self can prove it to you. There's fear, there's doubt, there's worry, there's nightmares, there's negative futures, there's all kinds of stuff that the lesser self spent a lot of time in. But you, the more who's connected, and you are connected, your higher self is with you, is helping you grow, is protecting you and creating miracles, and also supporting you in the love that you are and the love that is to be expressed through you and shared with your world. And that you doesn't need the fear or the doubt or the worry. That you is out there sharing and expressing and being more. And you know the difference.
Yeah.
Because that is who you truly are. That is you growing and expanding and becoming more. Now, when the fear comes up, the more important thing is, as we told Jean-Francois, oh, it's not coming up because I'm not going to get what I want. It's coming up because I am going to get what I want. Because it's through that doorway. But it's popping up as a gift to me to say, do you choose the old or do you set it down?
Well, will I be able to cope?
Well, that is one of the thoughts. We would suggest that's a strategy. A fear that says, will I be able to cope, is what the lesser self told yourself. That's what you told yourself when you were younger in order to diminish yourself.
Right.
I doubt myself. I don't trust myself. I don't think I'm enough. It all comes down to I'm not enough. But you have healed that enough, we assure you. And so when it comes up, just turn to your higher self and say, look, my adolescent, my child, they have some shame around being enough. Can you lift it? And that's the trick, is you can't do it alone. It's not a trick. It's just a higher truth. If you still have some shame, it has to be lifted by someone more than you. And the way to think of it is someone in a higher resonance than you are currently in, because the shame lowers your resonance. Because part of the shame is fear. Part of the shame is loneliness. And those are not in the top tier of emotions, are they?
No.
So that just think of it as layers. Oh, if I'm feeling those feelings and there is shame of being involved in it, meaning I think there's something wrong with me, then I'm going to ask my higher self to lift that shame, starting with wherever it began. And then having it return to wherever it came from, which would not have been the little boy, came through one of the parents or the environment, could have been from society if it was the adolescent, but it's returned to the source, the point of origin, where there's something that can be done about it, because that person chose the shame, chose pain in order to not be who they could be. And then they gave the message to someone else that they're that way too. And it gets passed all the way down the line. By the time you got it, you said, you know what? I can tell this isn't who I am, because I'm coming in as a more conscious soul. So I know when I come into that lifetime, one of the things I'm here to do is end the shame. And I need help to do that. So I'm going to make sure my higher self and I have the kind of relationship where I know I can ask my higher self to lift it. And you have built that. And as you really let that in, I have that. And it's because I'm expanding and growing that this stuff is popping up. It's not because I'm not going to get what I want. It's because I am going to get what I want. and I have to leave this behind, or I have to have it lifted if it's shame, because shame is not something you can process out. It's not like anger. It's not like rage. It's not like terror. That which is shame it's defined as shame because it came from somebody else. And it needs to go back to where it can be processed. Your higher self knows where it needs to go. Oftentimes, it can go all the way back to the original break with God Goddess. Not always, but oftentimes.
Right. But and also, well, when you say yes, I have this relationship with my higher self, it feels that um, it feels as if I'm not holding on to it very well. But
Well, no, but as you have expectations, so there's part of you that knows, you have memories of what it felt like when you were really truly connected.
Right.
And those were gifts that you received, that you have those images, that you have those sensations. What's important is not to diminish the levels in between. Because the more you interact with higher self, the closer you get to those ideal states that you have achieved on occasion.
Yeah.
They were there to guide you, to let you know, hey, this is what's possible.
Right.
This is who you're becoming. It is not sustainable 100% of the time. We guarantee it. because you're not there yet. You're not in that new world yet, fully living that new world, but you will be.
Right.
And the you in that reality, in that optimal future, has that connection, and it's a living, breathing relationship. What you have now is a living, breathing relationship, and every so often you're reminded that you still have some work to do. Meaning the lesser self creeps in, or the child needs something, or the adolescent needs something, and or lifetimes creep in and say, hey, what about me? And so there's a heaviness sometimes. And really all you need more of when you feel that heaviness is more love. And you can take a moment, close your eyes, and say, higher self, I really just need more love. Without doing anything for it, without earning it, without proving I'm enough. I just need the love first. And then as you let it in, as you realize, yeah, that is what I need. Yeah, my higher self can provide that, because my higher self is connected, is never disconnected. Higher self is more powerful, is eternal also, isn't some subpar higher self. As some of you sometimes think, what's wrong with my higher self? Why am I not getting what I want? Right. Which is meant to make you laugh, because yeah, sometimes it feels that way. Now, eventually you realize, oh, it's because I was keeping it from me, because my higher self can't come down to this level.
Yeah.
But when I let the love in, then I raise my resonance, and guess what? My higher self is more accessible, more real.
Yeah.
And you know that it's a dance, it's a cadence, it's an exploration. And you get to choose how much or how little you allow.
Right. Can I ask you about this? Totally related to something that happened at the coaching, that we were talking about the new masculine and the new feminine, and I completely blanked, kind of in a really bad way during Kathy's piece, and then I couldn't get back. My mind wouldn't work, and I was completely out of that. And one of the things that's been happening is that I've been having a lot of sexual fantasy, and I've just been thinking that you know, the new masculine and new feminine is so important to me. It always has been. I mean, all my life it's been important. Um, and I've been talking to people at open mics about it, and they're coming up with some really interesting ways of going about it, from being kind of rough, tough guys, and just realizing that I'm just feeling I'm not respecting myself at the moment, because I feel I'm not respecting men and women as they should be, and that's making me kind of blow out and just feel I'm just getting it all wrong.
So what we're sensing is to work with the chauvinism, the definitions, the old definitions.
Yeah.
That in the black and white chauvinistic definitions of masculine and feminine energy, you didn't actually ever talk about the feminine energy. It was masculine energy and females. Was females were the source of the pleasure, or source of the stimulus. But feminine energy is not females, and masculine energy is not males. So, as you know, we're not telling you anything you didn't already know. Feminine energy is that creative force that you come from, the original inspiration that created reality, that created the soul that you are, is feminine.
Right.
The masculine energy that emerges from the feminine, and it's not a hierarchy, it's just the way it is. The space creates the form. The soul comes in, and with the choice of what matters, spirit is activated. Spirit is activated then to gather the energies, is the way we say it. Now we're saying it that way so that we don't trigger the male-female conversation that is embedded in the language. But as you really let that in, okay, what does that mean about me as a sexual being? Oh, when I connect with my soul and I let myself know what matters, and I begin to desire, imagine, expect, what would it be to be in a loving relationship where I could be who I am and express all of me? So part of that is the passion. Part of it is the creativity. Part of it is interpreted in the physical plane, can occur as sexual energy, but we would say don't limit yourself to that. Because in order to fulfill on the love, you have to create the safety for the love. You have to be willing to be intimate and vulnerable. And that's not necessarily, if you fall into the consensus, that isn't necessarily part of sexuality. Sexuality can very easily drift off into a dominating energy. Doesn't have to. The more beautiful sexuality is in dominion, is giving and receiving, giving and receiving, receiving and giving, receiving and giving, and that flow of energy that where all the parties who are participating become more connected, more whole, more complete. And that is what love is. And as you let that be part of your framework of exploration, instead of the shameful, repressive response, let it add in the love, add in the intimacy, add in the caring, and then that creates the space for something that you will want. Because your highest priority will always be self-preservation. And so you're always going to need to create safety first. And your lesser self will then relax, and you the more can emerge, and you can create a wonderful, passionate relationship. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So why did you tune out? Because you were being worked on. Because your optimal future self had lots to download into you to awaken new levels of consciousness
Right.
around this, because it is your focus. It is part of what you are here to bring, is
Sure.
to bring the feminine and the new masculine.
Yeah.
So different when it's in dominion. Beautiful. We love you so.
Okay.
All right.
No, there's one more.
Sorry.
Is there one more? Who is that?
Patricia.
All right, Henry, we love you so. And we thank you for your vulnerability.
Thank you, Tara. I love you.
Hi,
All right. Yes, Patricia, where do we begin?
wow, what a wonderful evening this has been. There's been so much from everybody sharing. It's fabulous. Thank you. I would just like some direction as to what I'm going to say it. I need to fix because I've had so many losses in the last 2 months. My brother's died. Sorry. My car had major problems. It was expensive to fix. I got sick in June and I still have residual from that. I'm in a place of I'm afraid about what's going to happen next. So should I expand my cube? Is it my image?
It is definitely similar to what we've been speaking with others about this evening. You've walked through the door, you have had a glimpse of not just a glimpse, but experiences with the optimal future self that you are becoming. You've had expansive experiences this past year of a new you, a new image, a new sense of, no, I want more of this, more elegance, more ease, more abundance.
Yeah.
And in the having to shed layers of the past, each of you have done so much work. This is no longer about some huge thing that you have to handle. You have handled the big chunks. Now it's more of recognizing, oh, I can't take self-pity with me, or I can't take martyrhood with me. Who am I if I don't have it? What am I going to allow myself to become if I set it down? Because the lesser self, hey, you can't survive without it. And that fear that I won't survive my expansion can be visceral, can be debilitating, can have you play out all kinds of stuff in the illusion. We would suggest the car is always going to be about image change. So if you love your car, fixing the car is the loving thing to do. Then you get to love it some more as you drive through your reality. If it's a car you don't care about, then you fixed it. Okay, now choose what you want instead. It's very important. And we understand some of you love your cars and they have longevity because of your love. And that is okay. And when they break down, it means that you do have to look to see, where am I not allowing a new image to take hold? Where am I holding on too much to who I used to be because I don't trust yet who I'm becoming? And so then it's important to work with the optimal future self. The you that has it already, who is she embodying? What qualities does she get to express that you have maybe become cynical about, or have decided that's just not me? But then you go experience your optimal future self and she's having a party. She's loving life. She's free. She's carefree and she's in love with whoever she's with. And she's gracious and she's exploring. And she's still the creative person that you know yourself to be. She doesn't give up the things you value, you see.
Mm-hmm.
But the lesser self will tell you, oh, well, you can't have everything.
Yeah, exactly.
And so that's the thought that has to be set down. That's the energy of however you diminish yourself, whether it's that you feel you're not good enough, or that you aren't capable enough, or as you recognize that's the lesser self reminding you it's not safe to grow, it's not safe to expand. And those decisions about what it takes to become more came from the child and the adolescent in their time of pain. And you are okay with putting those to rest.
Even just to confirm, my computer also blew up last week.
A
So,
new hard drive is needed.
so I got a new hard drive, and
Yes.
I have to say the strangest thing was when I opened it up this morning and I started working on it, I thought, did they give me a new computer? I mean, it felt new. It
Yeah.
was the strangest thing. It felt new. So it feeds into image because I have to change all my passwords for all so I'm continuously looking at what is the password that I reflects what I'm becoming,
Beautiful.
creating.
Yes. So you're already actively engaged in creating the new you. And
Yeah,
that exists already in the future. And so as you let in, oh, wow, I really did need a new hard drive. I need a new operating system. I need new instructions for my subconscious. And so, yes, go to your success cube. Whenever you have the thought, should I, just go do it
right, right.
and benefit from your higher self putting in that thought, guiding you. What should I be working on? Maybe I should go expand my success cube. Yes. Whenever you feel constricted, whenever you feel like I can't help but see a future that has less than what I have, that is the cue to go work with your success cube, which is the same thing as working with your image. Except
Right.
the success cube is a little more neutral, isn't it?
Yeah,
You're able to just go step in and push the walls out, push the ceiling up, or you have little buttons or dials, or you have a magician there that does it all for you. Maybe you have crystals doing the expansion, and then you get the benefit because that is an interface with your subconscious mind. That's giving your subconscious new instruction. Hey, I'm ready to expand with harm to none, with elegance and ease. My higher self is here with me. They're going to make sure it works out in such a way that's for my highest good. And then over the next 72 hours, look to see what's new. Because you see, actually, the next morning when you wake up and open your eyes, that illusion is new. Doesn't have to have grief. It doesn't have to. You can honor your brother and not have long months or years of grief. As you've shared already, you have grieved in advance. Now honor who he is and get a sense that he's with you.
yeah, he's around. He's been
Yeah.
around. He's been around for the last 48 hours.
Yes, and he's having a ball
He's
watching.
having a ball, and every time I look up and I can see his face, he's grinning from ear to ear.
Yes.
He's having a blast.
So as you let that in and let that be more, I know he's with me and he's having a blast and I feel good. Let yourself feel good and say, yeah, I'm going to miss the physical you, but I'm not going to miss the version of you that's in pain. I'm glad
No.
you're free. And then the soul work continues. Anytime you feel you want to commune with him, he's more free now to imbue you with new energies. He comes as the more real, as the soul that he is, with his higher self.
Can I ask you one more
ahead.
thing?
Yes.
So I've been working to release my self-pity and catching myself. And when I catch myself, I say, oh, I'm feeling self-pity. And immediately it makes me laugh because the whole thing becomes ridiculous at that point. Oh, self-pity. So anyway, as I'm doing this, the person I'm in relationship with has become how do I say? Less competent than he actually is. And I feel like it's a manipulation to kind of get under my skin so that I take care of it, whatever it is. Oh, lost my plane ticket. Oh, where is it? Like he wants me to jump in and take care of it. And it's becoming more so since I've been feeling less self-pity. And yet I feel myself going into that horrible place of he's not competent. Look at all this screw up, da, da, da. No, I don't want to think that. Anyway, it's a battle in my head. And is that
so in your case, we would suggest that as you're becoming more free, you are also more aware. And what to warn you about is more that you don't go into judgment. Instead, what's important is to think and feel, continue to think and feel rather than going into judgment, puts a lid on the emotion. Meaning, I shouldn't think these thoughts is a judgment. I shouldn't feel these feelings is a judgment.
Yeah.
And it has only one protocol, and that is to shut you down. So when you recognize, oh, wait a minute, if I shut myself down, that doesn't end there. Then I get to feel resentment, or I get to feel guilt, or I get to feel shame, or whatever it is that usually happens. And then I get to punish.
Yeah, I hate that about myself.
So as you let in, wait a minute, I can actually acknowledge whether or not I want to help. So the cry for help, I get to choose. Do I want to help, or do I want to let him know, hey, you're on your own. I'm busy with this thing right now. Sorry, I can't help you. See, that would be authentic, wouldn't it? Now,
Yeah.
You might have been raised to think that's unkind, that you should go help him. You should take care of it. Because after all, he's less than you.
I know, it's awful.
So as you reset everything and say, wait a minute, it's not better than or less than. The reality is, what do I want? Do I want to help?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't.
That's
But as you become aware of your own internal chatter around what do you make it mean if you do or don't, you become more free, you see. You become more free to give when you feel like it and not when you don't. And that's taking care of you. And that is the antidote to martyrhood.
Yeah.
So play with that this week and then let us know how it goes.
Yeah, I will, because my automatic is to just do the thing.
Well, it's often easier, but you also then take the better than hit.
Yep.
See, it's not without a cost.
Yeah.
To you. Because when you take that better than, now your martyrhood has a hold on you.
Right.
Because now what are you going to do with it? I get to be resentful.
Right.
I get to go into those lower emotions. Then I get to feel guilty about it.
Yeah.
Then I really need to punish.
Yeah.
So as you nip it in the bud by saying, no, I'm just going to decide. I'm going to choose, what do I want to do in this moment? I'm going to put myself first. And that's going to feel awkward at first.
It does.
Because you may find in the first 48 hours, 72 hours of this, you're going to say, I don't really want to do anything for you. Now, there's a kind way to let him know, you know what? I'm busy. I'm doing some other things. I'm not going to be available. Would be equally authentic as, I really don't want to do anything for you. Except if you just tell him, I really don't want to do anything for you, that could hurt him.
Right.
That could hurt his feelings. So then you have to clean that up.
Yeah.
So just be kind and set the boundary and say, no, I'm busy. I know you're capable, whether you think so or not right now. Don't worry about it. But as you let him know, I think you're capable, see how well you do on your own, because I really am busy.
Yeah.
And that takes self-care. That's the meaning of self-care, is I'm taking care of me first.
Yeah.
And then you'll get to a point where you're like, well, I actually can help, because I've been giving to myself the things that I wanted to get done are getting done. And now
Mhm.
there's space. There's space to be generous. So try that and let us know how it goes, because what we're going to find is your higher self's already cheering, because your higher self wants you to have more, not less.
Right.
All
Thank you.
right. We love you so.
Thank you so much. Love you.
Beautiful. You're right on track.
Thank you.
All right. And so each of you who shared, thank you so much. What a beautiful evening, and so much vulnerability. And the group that gathers, that supports the energy, we thank you for bringing your love and your light as well. And so we go for now. We go with love and peace. Until next time, we bring Katrina back.
Thank you so much, Tara.
Thanks.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you.
Yeah.